Walk into any Home Depot and you'll see them. Those bright lime green RYOBI tools scattered everywhere like someone spilled a highlighter factory. Most people walk right past, convinced that anything priced under 30 bucks must be garbage. Here's what nobody's telling you. That $29 RYOBI 1 Plus rotary tool sitting on the shelf right now is absolutely crushing Dremel models that cost 4 times as much. And I'm not talking about crushing them eventually or with modifications. I'm talking about right out of the box. Same performance, quarter of the price. Let me explain why professional woodworkers and DIYers are quietly stocking up on these things, while brand snobs are still bragging about their $120 Dremels. Here's the thing about rotary tools that'll make you angry once you understand it. The actual motor technology hasn't changed much in decades. You've got a high-speed spinning shaft with interchangeable bits. That's it. The difference between a $29 RYOBI and a $130 Dremel isn't some magical engineering breakthrough. It's marketing and that little premium badge on the side. RYOBI figured this out years ago and decided to just make a solid rotary tool without charging you for commercials during the Super Bowl. The RYOBI 1 Plus rotary tool runs off their 18-volt battery platform, which means if you already own any RYOBI tool, you've got instant power. No cord strangling you while you're trying to carve detailed work. No hunting for outlets in your garage that aren't already occupied by 3 extension cords and a shop vac. Just click in a battery and start working. Dremel's cordless models want you to drop $150 minimum for that same freedom. Meanwhile, RYOBI is over here charging lunch money. But let's talk real-world performance, because price means nothing if the tool can't actually do the job. I've used this RYOBI to cut through hardened steel bolts, carve intricate designs in hardwood, polish metal, grind down welds, and sand tight corners that no other tool can reach. The variable speed control goes from 5,000 to 32,000 RPM. That's the exact same range as Dremel's 4,000 model that costs 90 bucks. Same power, same control, same results. The only difference is one says Dremel and costs enough to make you think twice before using it. The other says RYOBI and costs so little you'll actually use it for the messy jobs it was designed for. Here's where it gets interesting. Professional fabricators started noticing something weird about 5 years ago. Their expensive Dremels kept burning out after heavy use, but the cheap RYOBI tools they bought as backups just kept running. Turns out, when you're not paying for premium branding, sometimes you get better build quality because the company has to compete on performance instead of reputation. RYOBI engineered this rotary tool with actual metal gearing inside, not the plastic gears that strip out after 6 months of hard use. Real metal that handles torque and heat without complaining. The grip design is where RYOBI really embarrassed the competition. Most rotary tools feel like holding a mechanical pencil designed by someone who's never actually used their hands for work. The RYOBI has this rubberized overmold grip that's thick enough to control during detailed work, but slim enough that your hand doesn't cramp up after 20 minutes. I spent 4 hours carving custom designs into wooden signs last month. My hand felt fine. Try that with a traditional Dremel, and you'll need ice and ibuprofen. Now let's address what you're probably thinking. What about accessories? Dremel has that whole ecosystem of bits and attachments, right? Here's the secret tool companies don't want you knowing. Rotary tool accessories are universal. That's right. The same 1/8 inch and 1/16 inch shanks that fit Dremel will fit RYOBI. All those expensive Dremel branded bits you see at the store, they work perfectly in the RYOBI. But here's the better move. Buy generic rotary tool bit sets on Amazon for 15 bucks. You'll get 100 pieces instead of Dremel's 20-piece set for $40. Same quality, fraction of the cost. The battery situation deserves its own conversation, because this is where RYOBI's strategy gets brilliant. That 1 Plus 18-volt platform works across over 280 different tools. Your rotary tool battery also powers your drill, impact driver, circular saw, leaf blower, string trimmer, and about 275 other tools. Dremel wants you buying their proprietary battery system that only works with their rotary tools. It's the old razor blade business model, except with batteries. RYOBI said, forget that, and built an actual ecosystem where everything shares power. Let me tell you what happened when I brought both tools to my buddy's metal fabrication shop. He's one of those guys who only buys premium everything because he thinks price equals quality. I handed him the RYOBI without telling him what it cost and asked him to grind down some welds. 15 minutes later, he's asking where he can buy one. I told him $29 at Home Depot. He literally stopped working and stared at me like I was speaking a foreign language. Then he drove to Home Depot during lunch and bought 3 of them. One for his shop, one for his truck, and one for home. That's $90 total for 3 tools versus $130 for 1 Dremel. The math makes you wonder what else you've been overpaying for. The accessory compatibility goes deeper than just bits. Those flexi shaft attachments that let you reach tight angles, $20 generic versus $60 for Dremel branded. Works identically on the RYOBI. Router bases, right angle attachments, circle cutting guides, all of it. The rotary tool industry has been running the same scam as printer ink for years. Charge reasonable money for the tool, then gouge you on accessories. RYOBI short circuits that whole game by making their tool compatible with everything while keeping the base price so low you don't feel trapped. Here's a real scenario that'll save you serious money. You need to cut intricate patterns in tile for a bathroom renovation. The contractor wants $200 just for the cutting work. A Dremel with diamond bits will run you about $160 after you buy the tool and proper attachments. The RYOBI setup, $45 total. Tool plus diamond bits. You do the work yourself, save $155, and now you own a rotary tool for every future project. That's the kind of math that makes sense. The dust collection story gets better. Most rotary tools just spray debris everywhere, like a tiny tornado of whatever material you're cutting. RYOBI designed this one with attachment points for standard shop vac hoses. Dremel charges extra for that feature on their premium models. RYOBI includes it standard on a $29 tool. It's almost insulting how much value they packed in here. Let's talk about what this tool actually excels at, because that's where you'll see why it's become a must-have. Cutting drywall for electrical boxes, the RYOBI slices through like butter without cracking edges. Sharpening lawnmower blades, 15 minutes and your mower cuts like new. Removing old grout for tile repairs, faster than any manual scraper and way less shoulder pain. Carving pumpkins into actual works of art, your kids will think you're a wizard. Smoothing rough edges on PVC pipe, clean cuts every time. The tool doesn't care that it costs $29. It just works. Professional contractors are catching on to something DIYers figured out years ago. When you're running a business, tool theft is a real problem. Leaving a $130 Dremel on a job site is anxiety-inducing. A $29 RYOBI, still careful with it. But if someone walks off with it, you're not filing an insurance claim. You're just annoyed for the 15 minutes it takes to grab another one at Home Depot. That peace of mind has actual value. The warranty situation reveals something interesting about RYOBI's confidence. 3-year limited warranty on a $29 tool. Dremel offers the same warranty on tools costing 4 times as much. Both companies expect their tools to last. One just isn't making you pay extra for the privilege. I've had my RYOBI rotary tool for 3 years now. 0 issues. Still runs at full speed. Still holds bits tight. Still makes me wonder why I ever considered spending more. Here's what really separates smart tool buyers from people who just follow brand names. Smart buyers test performance against price. They don't care about logos. They care about results per dollar spent. When you put the RYOBI and Dremel side by side and run identical tasks, they perform identically. Speed control, power delivery, bit retention, all the same. The only difference is, one makes you feel foolish for spending extra, and the other makes you feel clever for finding real value. The Home Depot exclusive part matters more than people realize. RYOBI tools are everywhere in that store. Returns are simple. Need a replacement battery? Walk in and grab one. Compare that to boutique tool brands where you're ordering parts online and waiting a week. The convenience factor of having your tool ecosystem available at every Home Depot in America has real value that doesn't show up on spec sheets. Let me share what happened during a recent kitchen remodel. Needed to cut custom holes in marble countertops for soap dispensers. The stone fabricator wanted $300 for 2 holes. Bought the RYOBI, diamond core bits, and a steady hand drill guide for under $70 total. Cut both holes perfectly in 30 minutes. The tool paid for itself on one job, and I still have it for the next 100 projects. That's the kind of return on investment that makes you start questioning every other premium tool in your garage. The speed range deserves more attention, because this is where rotary tools either succeed or become expensive paperweights. Low speeds for delicate work like engraving glass or polishing jewelry. You need precise control without overshooting and ruining the piece. The RYOBI's variable speed dial clicks through settings smoothly with no dead zones or sudden jumps. High speeds for aggressive cutting through metal or hard materials where you need maximum RPMs to make progress. 32,000 RPM is serious power that'll go through just about anything you point it at. Most importantly, the motor maintains consistent speed under load. Cheap tools bog down when you apply pressure. This one just keeps spinning. Here's the reality check that brand loyalists don't want to hear. Dremel used to be the only game in town. They invented the category and charged accordingly. But patents expire, manufacturing processes improve, and smart companies like RYOBI figure out how to deliver the same performance without the legacy costs. Dremel is still selling based on reputation from 40 years ago. RYOBI is selling based on actual value today. Guess which strategy works better for your wallet? The testing I've done with both tools should make Dremel nervous. Cutting through 1/4 inch steel bolts, both tools, identical time. Carving basswood with detail bits, both tools, identical control. Polishing aluminum with buffing wheels, both tools, identical finish. Grinding carbide with diamond wheels, both tools, identical results. The only test where they differed was the price test. RYOBI wins that by $100 every single time. Professional woodworkers have this thing where they test tools to destruction just to see what fails first. The RYOBI rotary tool failures I've heard about, usually the battery gives out before the tool does. And that battery probably powered 50 other projects first. The tool itself just keeps running. Compare that to stories of Dremel motors burning out or speed controls failing, and you start to see why the smart money is moving to lime green. The battery runtime conversation reveals another advantage most people miss. Because this runs on the ONE+ platform, you're not stuck with some proprietary battery that dies in 20 minutes. Grab a 4 amp hour battery, and this rotary tool runs for over an hour of continuous use. That's longer than most detail projects take anyway, and when it does run low, swap batteries in 3 seconds. No waiting for recharges in the middle of cutting intricate patterns. The learning curve is practically flat. Hand this tool to someone who's never used a rotary tool before, and they'll be making clean cuts within 5 minutes. The intuitive speed dial, comfortable grip, and responsive motor make it nearly impossible to mess up. I've watched my wife, who claims she's not handy, use this thing to customize picture frames with carved details that look professionally done. She went from never touching power tools to asking if I could buy her own RYOBI rotary tool for her craft room. Storage and portability matter more than people think. This tool is compact enough to keep in a kitchen drawer for quick repairs. Toss it in a tool bag for job sites without adding noticeable weight. The battery pops off so you're not lugging around bulk that serves no purpose during transport. Dremel's corded models mean dealing with wrapped cords that tangle like headphones in your pocket. Let's talk about the projects this tool opens up that you probably haven't considered. Glass etching for custom gifts, metal engraving for tool identification, concrete smoothing for home repairs, rust removal from vintage tools, guitar fret polishing, model building with precision cuts, jewelry making with detailed work, rock polishing for hobbyists. Every single one of these applications works flawlessly with the RYOBI. Every single one would cost the same with a Dremel, except you'd be out an extra $100 for identical results. The resale value angle shows you how the tool market really works. Try selling a used Dremel online. You'll get maybe 40% of what you paid if you're lucky. But here's the thing. You won't want to sell this tool because it becomes one of those grab-it-first tools whenever a project pops up. The innovation happening in the budget tool space deserves recognition. Companies like RYOBI are forcing premium brands to justify their prices. When a $29 tool performs identically to a $130 tool, the expensive one better have something special. Spoiler alert, it usually doesn't. Home improvement shows and YouTube celebrities love showing off their wall of red and yellow premium tools. Meanwhile, actual professionals working real jobs are filling their trucks with lime green RYOBI because they understand that tools are investments that should pay returns, not status symbols that sit on shelves looking pretty. The accessory ecosystem around rotary tools is massive, and RYOBI plugs right into it. Carbide bits for tile work, diamond points for glass, sanding drums for wood, wire wheels for rust removal, polishing pads for metal finishing, cut-off wheels for detailed cuts, stone grinding points for shaping. Every single accessory works. Every single project becomes possible. And because you saved $100 on the tool itself, you can actually afford to buy the accessories you need. Think about the total cost of ownership over 5 years. Dremel at 130 plus expensive proprietary batteries that need replacing, plus overpriced accessories equals something north of $300 easily. RYOBI at $29 plus batteries you already own for other tools, plus affordable generic accessories equals maybe $80 total. You just saved $220 on identical functionality. The confidence factor can't be measured in specs, but matters tremendously in real use. When you're working with an expensive tool, there's always that voice saying, don't mess it up, be careful, maybe hire a professional instead. When you're using a $29 tool, that voice shuts up. You experiment, you try new techniques. Your tool collection doesn't need to be a showpiece. It needs to work when you need it and not drain your bank account. The $29 RYOBI rotary tool represents everything right about modern tool manufacturing. Take proven technology, build it well, price it fairly, make it compatible with everything, and let the product speak for itself. No fancy packaging, no celebrity endorsements, no Super Bowl commercials. Just a solid tool that saves you money while delivering professional results. Walk into Home Depot, grab that lime green rotary tool off the shelf, and join the smart shoppers who figured out that paying more doesn't mean getting more.